Alright guys, so we're back of course to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's not really any major news today necessarily. There is something kind of big we're going to talk about for you European players. It's more of like an information roundup. So first up we have some merchandising stuff. You can currently pre-order the statuettes for Cloud, Aerith, and Sephiroth. And what I found a bit odd about them is that they're all different prices. For whatever reason, the Aerith model is $40, the Cloud model is $45, and the Sephiroth model is $50. Now admittedly, I'm not a collector. This is unknown territory for me. I don't exactly know the ins and outs of this stuff. Maybe, Sephiroth things are more valuable and so are Cloud things, and Aerith things are not so much, maybe. Or maybe there's less of some of them than the others, so like the Sephiroth one being the priciest, maybe there's less of those being made than the Cloud or the Aerith. I just thought it was kind of odd because before I was even going to record this part, I only pulled up like the Cloud model, and I was going to talk about how I'm assuming they're all the same price, but something told me to actually look at each of them, and I was actually kind of surprised that there were different prices. We then also have this soundtrack set you can buy. It has 7 discs to it. It costs $77.77, of course. Now again, I'm not a video game collector. I do have hobbies. I do collect certain things, but I'm not somebody who gets like a bunch of video game memorabilia. For me, $77.77 plus tax, that just seems like a lot. But you do actually get a bonus disc with it. There's actually technically 8 discs. Not even technically, there literally is. The bonus disc you get with it actually has the music from the in-game jukebox. If you guys remember that, we talked about that somewhere recently. You can find like music discs around the world in Final Fantasy VII Remake and actually find jukeboxes as well to listen to the music. And you actually get a physical version of that in this collection. Pretty cool. What we have next is almost something that people have been asking for a very long time now. Everybody wants a Final Fantasy VII Remake themed PS4. What they gave us instead is a bundle. And look, it's not a bad thing in and of itself. Like, it's kind of cool if you don't already have a PS4. And that's the thing. A lot of people who didn't already own a PS4 went out and bought one specifically for this game, myself included. And a product like this would have been nice a couple months ago whenever I got my PS4. I'm not necessarily saying I would have bought it, because the one I got had the God of War, the Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us. That's a little more appealing. I'd rather just kind of, buy the remake separate. But still, this is something other people might have bought. The other big downside to this, other than it, not being a themed PS4, is that I think it's only currently available for Japan, because they're the only ones talking about it. Like, the main English PlayStation Twitter account hasn't tweeted about this, and this tweet itself is, like, currently 24 hours old. Like, and they have not mentioned it yet, so I don't know if we're going to get it at all. So even if it was something you're interested in, you'd probably have to buy it overseas, which I don't know if that's a possibility given the current state of the world. And on to the sort of main part of the video. It's kind of a news roundup, but this would be the focus of the video, I suppose. And it actually is a little bit bigger than I was kind of letting on at the beginning of the video. And it's that in Europe, Sony's going to be like throttling downloads. As in, downloads will be slower and possibly even delayed. Now, I don't even know what delayed could mean. Like literally, would you not be able to download something? Like, you're in the middle of downloading, let's say the remake, and like it just stops until like they decide you can keep downloading? Like, I don't know how that works. But clearly why we're talking about this is because of the remake. At least for the next couple weeks, if not longer, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't able to go into work, or they're working from home, which is why internet speeds and things are being throttled all across Europe. There's just a lot more people that are using the internet at the same time. We see stuff like YouTube, Amazon, and Netflix are like throttling their streaming qualities to kind of help with this stuff. And it seems like PlayStation's trying to do their part by slowing down download speeds or possibly even delaying them, again, whatever that could mean. And also why this matters, again, in regards to the remake, is this could possibly, depending on your internet speed, affect your ability to play a day one. If you already have like kind of bad or slow internet, and then PlayStation's making you download stuff slower, you may not be able to play it on the 10th. Especially whenever you factor in that it's a very large download size. We know it's like 100 gigabytes plus. Now, the one saving grace in this department for at least digital players is that PlayStation actually offers the ability to pre-install games, usually about 48 hours before the game comes out. So obviously that would be April 8th. So if you happen to have bought the game digitally on the PlayStation Network, you definitely want to make sure that's enabled so that I can start downloading on the 8th. The thing here is, even if you bought the game physically, this still affects you because obviously there's going to be a day one patch. Every game has a day one patch. We don't know what size it's going to be. It could be 5, 10, 20 gigabytes for all we know. And if everybody in Europe is downloading things slower on the PlayStation Network, it's just pretty sucky, man. I understand why they're doing it, but also it just fucking sucks. And the thing is, with this situation we're talking about right now, this is just Europe, but this might be the reality for a lot of us by the time April 10th rolls around, because they might be doing this in the United States here soon. Who knows? If there's enough people that are not working, that are working from home, or just at work on the internet, maybe internet speeds start getting slower, and PlayStation goes, you know what? I want to do that in the US, and maybe I want to do that in Australia as well, and so on and so forth. This might be the reality for a lot of us, so everybody should really be prepared for this, just in case it does happen to you. Anyways, that's pretty much the video. I feel like I'm losing my voice. We just didn't really have any big news today, but this is pretty important for you Final Fantasy VII Remake players out there in Europe. I do have a video I want to make that's not relying on like day-to-day news about the game, something that I want to make sometime before the launch of the game. I'm not entirely sure. We might do that tomorrow. Either way, guys, for now, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't new. We'll stay updated with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @dashingdavid, and my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me a smile, give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby.